And so I have probably, I don't even know how many times I've been back to South Africa. Now I'm relying on my memory, she's just left. So easily 12 times, maybe even 16 times. But in South Africa, they're called sangomas. How many of you have heard the word sangoma before? So, and that's because you guys know me. So, sangoma is a Zulu word that means traditional medicine person. They are diviners. And so I'll tell you a little story about a sangoma that I went to see. So we take groups every year. So we actually have a group that's going in November. We have about 6 or 8 spots left on that trip. You get to travel personally with me for about 18 days, 20 days, how long? 18 days. And the whole time you are with sangomas, you're with shamans the whole time. And you actually get to be a part of a overnight sangoma ceremony. But before that, one of my first exposures, this sangoma, so he said, the ancestors are coming through, we need to talk to you. And I was a little nervous, and we had to have an interpreter. And he kept asking, where's the gold bowl, and where is the stardust? Where's the gold bowl, where's the stardust? You were supposed to bring the stardust to put in the gold bowl. And I'm like, I have no clue what this man's talking about. And I kept saying, I don't have a golden bowl, and I don't have stardust. So he keeps insisting, and he's like, the ancestors are insisting because you need to find the gold bowl, and you need to find the stardust, and you need to put the stardust in the gold bowl, or your abundance will never come to you. So, and he was not letting go. And the interpreter, they keep talking, and I'm just like not connecting. How many of you have ever had a reading and you didn't connect at all with what the person was saying? I'm telling you, every time they do a reading, whatever they say, it is significant. They might be interpreting it wrong, or you might not be you might be interpreting what they're saying wrong. But it's always significant. So after he's working with me for about 45 minutes, and I'm amazed he didn't give up on me. He said, the ancestors are saying that you had a golden bowl that you wrapped in a red cloth. They're telling me you put it in a backpack. They're telling me you put the backpack on your back. They're telling me you climbed up this mountain, and at the top of the mountain, you took another bag out and you scooped up the dirt. And I'm going, oh, no effing way. So it was about 7 years before that. Yvonne and I had been invited by one of the holy men, the Canancito Indians from New Mexico. Yvonne and I got to do a walk in New Mexico with 100 of the native Hopi, Pueblo, and Canancito on their sacred land. We had met the holy leader in India, and so he invited us, so we went. In 10 years in court, it took them 10 years to take the rancher to court to get access to their sacred land. The year Yvonne and I went was the first year they got approval, and they could only go one time. And the mountain was the Shaman Mountain. Oh, it was the only mountain that only medicine men had gone to for thousands of years. And all of us were going to get to go. I had a small Tibetan bowl, singing bowl. So in Africa, in the middle of nowhere, he is calling a gold bowl. So what am I thinking? Literal gold. The sand was the sacred dirt. It was stardust from a meteor that hit. At the top, I had put it in another bag. So the bag was in a different box. The bowl was in a different box. And then after, I was like, oh my gosh, I got what you said. What do you think I did when I got home? I found that stardust, I found that bowl, I put it in the bowl, and I still have it sitting out now. So another little story I'll tell you. Just a couple of years ago, I met a sangoma. She was next door. I said, can I see your magazine, your sacred hut where you do your divinations? So we're chatting. She gives me their famous white bread margarine sandwiches with orange Fanta drink. And so we're sitting there, and I asked if I could see her sacred space. We're sitting on the grass mat, and she said, these are my bones. And so she has a bag, and she throws, because they do bones divinations. She takes the bag, and she pours it out, and she goes, oh, you just had someone in your family just die unexpectedly. I'm so sorry. Condolences to your family. So, of course, what I do, I go and I call my parents as soon as I get back to the house. And my dad's sister had just died of an aneurysm 6 hours before.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to give you a little idea about how incredibly awesome they are. So, having said that, for 8 years they kept telling me I needed to train, that I had the calling. I was being called to be a Sangoma. And I was like, no, I'm not, it doesn't make sense to me. But the bottom line is, in 2014, I ended up going, I was initiated as a Sangoma, and in 2016 I went through another full ceremony where I was initiated into the sacred ability to do bones divination sessions. So I do bones readings here in Tacoma. I only do them in my home, in my sacred room. But the Zulus there could not believe that a white woman could have ancestors. And they couldn't believe a white woman was going through the ceremony to become a Sangoma. So you had Sangomas come from all over South Africa that came to my ceremony. It was all on the news, the BBC had called, like it was a big deal over there. So that's the beads that you see that I'm wearing. So I sleep in these beads, I do everything but bathe in the beads, but I always wear the beads. And they cross. Someone was saying, oh, I like your jewelry. But they cross, and so they come all the way down to here. So, so now when I go back to South Africa, when the South Africans see my beads, they will drop down to the floor, they'll leave a coin, they'll ask me to give a blessing to their family. So it's quite an honor over there. But over here, when we're working in the Western world, it's like, yeah, I don't believe in that shit. And so it's very different in the different cultures. And I mean that to be really funny, because there's a part of me that's quite a skeptic as well. You know, I'm discerning. So anyway, it was a wild trip, and it's the Tacoma News Tribune did a story about it, and so you can read all about that on the website. But let's see what else. Let's do another reading. Okay, would you like to come up?
Sure.
Sorry. What's your first name?
Dora.
Dora. I always think Dora the Explorer.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have too much on your plate.
Heart's pounding.
Yvonne, would you mind helping her to ground a little bit?
No problem. I could feel it.
You want me to go over there?
Yeah. Could you stand behind her,
Yeah.
please? I don't want her to pass out.
It's like,
I'm outside, is that all right?
yeah.
Yeah. So what's happening? I mean, her heart's really pounding because her spirit is out of her body, and just by her standing in front, her spirit wants to come down into her body. So your heart's pounding, and you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed because your spirit's wanting to drop down into your body. Does that make sense? So, all right. So the color that you have going on in your aura is you have a dark green that's going from the shoulders down. So from the shoulders all the way down, it's a dark green. From the shoulders up, it's a red-orange. So the dark green means there's big movement and change about ready to happen in your life.
Yep.
Yeah. But what you're doing is you're doing a lot. Your plate's really full. You're trying to do a lot of things. And I would like to say that it might have to do with upcoming events, but it's more than that. It's a lifetime issue. I'm going to describe the difference. When your spirit's in your body, fully down in your body, and you are working in union between your body and your spirit, this is how it can work. So right now, your spirit's out of your body, you think, I want a pizza, Okay, but I want the special pizza, so I need to go drive and get the pizza, and I got to go order it, and I got to do all this stuff, and I got to make the drive and all. But when your spirit comes in your body, now I'm going to over-exaggerate this just a little bit to make the point. Because I'm from Arkansas, and we do have that southern exaggeration factor that makes a story really good. But I'm not kidding also. You can decide that you want pizza, and you're going, I already got my PJs on, I got my bra off, I'm really wanting a pizza though, and you're trying to think, and then you're kind of digging around, well, do I even have any money anyway? And then suddenly somebody knocks on the door and say, hey, I just got a pizza delivery, and I just got 2 pizzas, and I can only eat one of them, do you want this one? That stuff happens. When your spirit is more in your body, your spirit can manifest. Your spirit needs a body to manifest on the physical plane. And I'm laughing. I'm asking my spirit guides, are we really going here? And they're like, yeah, we're really going here. The spirit world wants you to know why you have a body. So you need a physical body to make stuff happen. So sometimes you might wonder, how come this person, everything seems to happen for them. They have all these good things happen for them all the time, which usually because more of their spirit's in their body, and they have a thought and it manifests. They have a thought and it manifests. And they have a thought and it manifests. While you're filing your nails sitting on the couch. It literally, that's where I see that we can move at some point in our evolutionary process. So you're a doer.
Yes.
And so you do a lot. But what I'm going to encourage you to do, because your spirit's already coming down, how are you feeling?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to stay grounded with try not to cross my arms. Just keep
Yeah,
them
no,
open.
you're doing awesome.
So.
No, and you're a powerhouse. I'm going to say, you are a powerhouse of energy. I mean,
Yeah.
you are the type of person that you could manifest very easily, just with your thoughts. You can make things happen. You can have a thought and somebody ends up doing it. So it's like that, you are working with your intuitive ability to make stuff happen. So this strong green means there's definitely some big things on the horizon that are going to be unfolding and happening for you. Your spirit's showing me like those moving sidewalks at the airport. When you're walking along with yours and then you step on one of the moving sidewalks, that's what's happened. And it looks like that's only happened about 3 days ago, that the shift started happening. The strong red-orange means, I call that the bulldozer of all colors. That means major transformational change is happening for you. And it really looks like it's some good things, like you're not going to have to go through an illness or go through a sadness or a breakup. Like sometimes we have to go through that for change to happen. But your spirit's telling me you're not going to have to go through those things, that it's going to shift. Your third eye is definitely blocked, so your daughter got her psychic abilities from you. But what your spirit's telling me is that you needed to block it so you could stay focused, because you came into this world and into your family, somebody had to take responsibility. And so that helped you to be focused. You had to be the responsible one growing up. You've had to be the responsible one as an adult. But now what your spirit's telling me, it's your time now. It's like you can open that up. You can start to use your intuitive ability at another level. So I'm super excited about where you're going. Yeah.
Me too.
Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think that we do have time for the woman that I've known since the very beginning was going to come up here. So I'm interested to see why her spirit wanted her to come.
6:54.
So you have a beautiful aura. It's turquoise and with silver flecks in it. It's a very full, expansive turquoise. There's a lot of sadness. The sadness is about from the diaphragm down. And it's a lot of old sadness. And so it's like you've got this, what your spirit's saying, I mean, your spirit wanted you to be here tonight. Your spirit wanted you to come up tonight. And your spirit wanted kind of this kind of wake-up call. Because you are dynamic. I mean, your spirit's dynamic. You're an old ancient soul. You are very connected to the ancient divine wisdom of love, not human love. I like to really separate that out because divine love is kind of like what Jesus did. So Jesus channeled a lot of love. He didn't love thousands or millions of people personally. He just channeled it through, and this love went out. That's the type of heart that you have. And you're allowing some old sadnesses and some current sadnesses, but the current sadnesses are kind of propelled, or I don't know, it's like made bigger because of the old sadnesses, if that makes sense. Like, you're wondering, like, this is not that big of a deal. Why is it bugging me? Yeah. And it's just because of some of the old sadnesses. Your spirit's been really trying to get your attention for the past 7 years in a bigger way. And you definitely are a spiritual leader. You definitely have a huge spiritual calling to step into your gifts. And but the human aspects of life are really hard. And so what I want to say about that in your situation, it's really hard for all of us right now. So we are in an enormous cycle of change on the planet. We are in the dark ages. So we are like, I always tell people, it's like, I can't even remember what the year is. It's like, it's like 2024 or 2025. Starting in 2019 this year, and I'll finish up with that here in a minute, we are shifting back into the golden ages. We've waited 25,000 years for the golden ages to arrive. We're only a few years away, everybody. Only a few years away. But it's really hard right now. So the best way that we can all support each other is by hanging out with those of the light, not hanging out with those that are struggling with their shadow side, struggling with life problems. You're getting brighter as I'm talking. Your spirit's just like, okay, she's hearing it. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's all that I'll say about that right now. But
Okay.
yeah, definitely. There's no way out of it unless you do drugs and drink yourself to death. There's no way out. There's no way out of your calling. You have a huge spiritual calling. Okay. Okay. All right. Any questions?
What is in what way? Like, how can I help?
So have you done any spiritual development before? Have you taken any
Free
classes?
Fridays.
Free Healing Friday. Okay, awesome. That's a good start.
Yep.
What else?
I have in the last year met some friends that will get together and talk about the things that you can't talk about.
Yeah.
Just everyone.
Yeah.
And that's been helpful. And
Okay.
I'm learning some self-mastery.
Like reading books and stuff?
Just with this group, yeah, we kind of read
Oh.
about it. Yeah.
So I would highly recommend what's coming up for me. Donna, is it level 1 in 2 weeks or no? Level 2? Level 1. Healing class. She didn't expect me to call her. Donna Duff, stand up, please. Please stand up. Yes, you have to. So take her class. So it's not her class, it's Healing Touch, but you stay standing. The reason why I want her to stand is because Donna Duff, I worked on her for a good 10 years to get her to Tacoma, because I said Tacoma is the psychic capital of the world, by the way. Tacoma is the spiritual capital of the world. We want Healing Touch on the map, and she is one of the advanced Healing Touch instructors. I worked on her for 10 years, and 2 years ago, She left everything and she moved here to Tacoma to put Healing Touch on the map in Tacoma. How many in here do Healing Touch? Yeah. So she is a master teacher, and she works at our center, and she's here in our own backyard. You don't have to travel to see her, so that'll be a good start. All right, thank you, Donna. So just as we're finishing up, I just want to talk about, it's interesting because people were asking me to talk about the blue light, and and I wasn't feeling it, but then all of a sudden Spirit says, talk about the cycle and how close we are to come out of the dark ages. We're going back into the golden ages. So a few years ago, Spirit came through and said, I need you to go to China to find the blue light. China wasn't on my bucket list, never had a desire to go to China. What do you think I did? Went to China. And so I arrive in China, and this is how it works with Spirit. We'll give you the next set of instructions when you're in China. So anyway, so I went to China and I kept looking for the blue light. So I had a profound visionary experience in Xi'an, Xian. So if you go to Facebook and you type in the blue light movement, you can also go to my website, intuitivemind.org, and you can read my blog about the blue light. I haven't tended to it in a couple of months. I need to write some more because more information is coming through. But this is what I've been told is going to happen. In November, I don't have the exact date yet, but I'm thinking it's November 19th. They're not being very clear about the date when it's going to come through, but it is November 2019. In Xi'an, China, there's going to be an enormous from the star constellation of Sirius. Is that Orion's belt? I'm not a big cosmic person. Okay, thank you. Yes, so the blue light is from the celestial beings. They're bringing the blue light down to the earth. It's going to shoot straight down into the earth. It's going to spread out, and millions of people are going to have a massive awakening. But that's not the only blue column of light that's going to come in. It's going to happen again in 2021, in 2023, and in 2025. So the waves are coming through. I did not know when I was in Xi'an that there's a set of pyramids in Xi'an that are completely fenced off. They have armed guards, and they've planted dirt, grass, and trees over the top so that satellite cannot see them. But there is a photograph from the 1920s and the 1940s when the military were able to take photos of them. They have the same exact layout as the ones in Egypt, and they have the same exact layout as the ones in Mexico, outside of Mexico City. So Yvonne, my lovely wife, went on another crazy journey with me in February because Spirit said we needed to get the Mexico City to a Teotihuacan. So that we needed to start doing healings on that because that would be the next one in 2021. That one was badly damaged, and I could see the main pyramid as Yvonne and I were there and we were doing the healings on it, that it couldn't go through the top of the pyramid. So I went to go do research later, and I said, there's something missing. There's something missing up there that can't bring in the light. And then when I went to do the research, found out that in the 1920s, one of the bishops of the Catholic Church had the capstone destroyed. So the capstone is no longer there, the point on the top, but the spirit world is saying we can rebuild it energetically. But that's probably going to take us a couple of years working together as a group. So that's why I formulated the Blue Light Movement on that page to get lots of people to join me to help. And we still have work to do in Xi'an to prepare. But the Blue Light, and I've recorded, and it's free on my website. If you go under products, you'll see Blue Light Movement, a Blue Light Meditation. I have 2 of them for free for anybody. So share it, share it, share it. Get everybody doing the Blue Light meditation to help really bring in a lot of blue. But I'm seeing that a lot of you already have blue light, which is telling me that you all have a lot of star being energy. So, anyway, that's my talk.
Wow.
And you guys were awesome. You're engaging. And thank you.
Thank
Thank you so much for inviting me.
That was amazing.
So.